welcome to RunGB's War Thunder Planes Analysis. As you can see tonight today we have a new thing in the channel. We have an intro for the first time. I have to give my biggest thank you to Shadow Visigoth, who's the guy who approached me and asked me if I wanted him to make one for me. And of course I was just too happy to tell him yes. And he came with this impressive, amazing job, and just so amazing of an intro. So, well, just hats off to him for an amazing job. Thank you very much. And I'm going to add in the description below, I'm going to add the link to his channel so you can visit his channel and take a look. He's a very nice guy. He's a very talented video editor. As you can see, the intro is a piece of art. So again, thank you very much, Shadow Viking, because you really made an amazing job. So, well, as you can see, I'm very happy tonight because that's an amazing intro. But whatever, you came here to see a plane analysis, so let's get that going. Tonight we are going to visit the Messerschmitt Me410 twin-engine fighters for the German tractory. Actually, there are a lot of those. As you can see, there are 7 different Messerschmitt Me410s, and this confuses people a lot. They don't know the difference. So we are going to speak a little bit about the difference about them, and then we are going to see some footage of the Messerschmitt Me410 in action. So you can see these planes sit in the BF-110 tractory, and they look very similar to each other. So you can see this is the A1. Let's take a look to the B2 U2. Looks exactly the same. So people are very confused as what exactly do this plane are good at and what's the improvement from one to another. Let's start from the subvariants. Let's go with the A1. It's the same with the B1, B2 tractories. The difference between these 3 are exactly the same as in these 3. Later we'll see which are the difference between the A and B series. The A1 is an attacker, a fighter bomber. This thing can carry bombs as well as a couple cannons and machine guns. The A1U2 is different because it can't carry any bombs, but carries 4 cannons instead of 2. So they have a much powerful forward-facing battery. The A1U2 is a specific bomber killer plane which carries just 1 cannon, but it's a 50mm BK5 cannon, which of course is supposed to be a derp gun, but we'll talk about that later. So these are the difference between the same planes of the same tree and the same level. Which is the difference between the A series and the B series? Well, they have different engines. They look the same, but the engine is different. The B series, which I'm going to see here, carry the same model of engine but with water injection, and as such they are more powerful. So basically, the difference between a level 9 and a level 8 Messerschmitt Me410 is that this one is faster, has more acceleration, and climbs better. So basically, there's no reason to pick this over this unless you want a level 8 plane. If you are at higher levels, you want to use them better ones, so these are better. Other than that, the difference between this and this are exactly the same, which means this is a fighter bomber with bombs, this is a heavy fighter with 20mm cannons, and this is a bomber killer with 50mm single gun. And then at level 10 we have the 110 B6 R3, which is a specific, actually in history this was intended to go out in the Atlantic and to hunt for British seaplanes, floatplanes, Sunderlands and stuff, and to kill enemy merchants. And as such has this little radar here. Of course it's not working in the game, but this was used to detect enemy ships. And what this thing has, and what this thing is good at is that it has a couple of 20mm cannons, but has two 30mm MK103 cannons. And well, those things are the best, hardest hitting weapons in the German arsenal. You saw my 109 G6 video. The 109 G6 has a different 30mm cannon, which is the MK108. These guns are different in that they are they shoot at a very low muzzle velocity, while the guns in this plane shoot at a very high muzzle velocity. Which is the result? The result is that these guns are much better at hitting at longer distances. So you basically can snipe off enemy bombers with these things, and very effectively. You can sit at maybe 800 meters behind the bomber, and while the bomber is struggling to hit you with his rear gunner, you can simply snipe it off. And it's an amazing thing, because these things hit super hard. Anything you happen to find in your way and you point your nose at is going to be blasted away. Basically, those things, make no mistake, these things just blast enemies. They just rip them off and give no second chances. They are just super powerful. So those are the difference between the Messerschmitts. As you see, 7 different planes, 3 different subkinds, and 1 specific heavy fighter. Let me tell you, once you get this one, there's no use in using this or this. This one is just so much better because it has so much firepower. Now, about maneuverability, performances, way to fly them, they mostly fly all the same. I mean, the A series has a lower performance than the B series, but they maneuver very much the same, and they are to be fighted very much the same. Which is, this is a heavy fighter. This is a very, very heavy plane, which doesn't turn at all. So don't turn in this thing, if you can't avoid it, of course. And it's not a good boom and zoom plane. Why? Because if you have seen my videos about boom and zoom planes, like the Focus 190 and P47, and if you haven't, you should go check them out. A boom and zoom plane needs a very good high speed maneuverability, because it's going to be in very fast dives, and it's going to have to aim to enemy maneuvering targets. And the problem with this plane is that it has huge control surfaces, and is very big. And at very high speeds, these controls turn into cement. They are very, very slow maneuvering at high speeds. So it's very hard to correct your aim while you are in a high speed dive. And you are going to, if you don't set your pass properly, or you don't really aim at the point you are going to fire at the initial dive, you are going not be you don't have time to correct your aim, basically, because the plane doesn't let you. So can it be used in boom and zoom? Sure, yes. Actually, this is a very aerodynamic plane, so it's a pretty good plane at keeping energy up in boom and zoom. The problem is that it's not easy to hit with. Unless the enemy is just distracted on anything else, or is totally unmaneuverable, like if you are diving in to a bomber. But if you are diving towards a fighter and the fighter starts maneuvering, you are going to have a very, very hard time hitting them. There's another thing in this plane. As you can see, it has a couple of rear-facing heavy machine guns. Don't really trust them to do a lot of job for you. They can fend off fighters and scare them off, but they are not going to kill anything, basically. I think I never got a kill off from these guns. Another thing about this is that you can mostly rely on them to scare enemies off your tail, but if they are just fixated on you and they don't care about being hit, they are not going to keep them away. So they are there, they are not for decoration, they help, but don't trust in them to keep enemy off your six. There's another different thing, and this is something that the game mechanics are forcing to. This is only something that happens to the Messerschmitt Me410 series. The Messerschmitt Me410 had a pilot, and a radio man and gunner. The gunner was sitting here and had a remote control for the guns behind, and he controlled both of them. These were very advanced turrets. They could move a lot, so back, down and up, and out and in, so they have very wide arcs of fire. And they were fired by the gunner. The thing is that the game doesn't really model different guns controlled by just one guy. So you're going to notice this. You need 2 experienced gunners, or you're going to have a poor performance of the gunner with this. Doesn't make sense because you only have one gunner, but it's the way mechanics go and you have to adapt to it. So, well, I think this pretty much sums it up for what the Messerschmitt Me410 is. So let's take a look and see how they perform in games and how do you fly them. So here we are with 50mm Messerschmitt Me410 B2U4. And this is a Wake Island domination map, and as you can see, there's a lot of clouds. This plane is very underwhelming, this model, this particular version, because the cannon was supposed to bring 4 engine planes in one shot, but in the game you simply can't rely on them because they don't do steady damage. You can get an enemy in one hit, and then the next one you go and you hit 2 times and he simply flies away unharmed. So with a plane which is not so maneuvering as a 410 and a cannon which is so slow firing, this is very underwhelming. There you go. I tried to get a seat. Oh shit. Sorry. Shoot on that guy, but I missed. It's very hard to hit with these things because they fire so slow. So you have to snipe them. You have to hold your fire until you have a very clear shot and then fire it. Here you notice I'm at high speed. The plane doesn't maneuver that fast. Try to shoot again. No luck. Try to shoot again. No look. Try to shoot again. No look. He moves up and I threw my way. He's still trying to get our ships, so wing over. See how slow it wings over at high speeds. Now we are at a slower speed, so we can maneuver faster and correct better. So I take aim and look at that. Nothing. I hit again. Critical. But he's still flying. In the end he goes down. In the end I think he crashed. I must have broken something important. But the 2 shoots of that should have just blasted him away of the sky. And no, he didn't. We have a Wellington which is moving up. So I'm going to follow and try to get him. And boom. No look. No. So down we go to win another solution. The thing, look at that. The Wellington is turning faster than our Messerschmitt. This plane doesn't turn very well, as you can see. Catalina, no luck, no hit, no way, no way. No, we don't hit him. As you can see, it's very difficult to get hits. I mean, Catalina is a pretty big aircraft, and yet we didn't hit him. Well, next in line, SV2. Let's see if we have better luck with this guy. He's in a steady line, so that favors us. Fire, no luck. Fire, yeah, we hit him. And see the discrepancies. We hit a P-47 twice, and he flies away like nothing happened. And one shot is enough to blast that guy's wing off. So unreliable, simply so unreliable. You can't trust this thing to kill things in one hit. And basically, if you can't kill things in one hit with a 15mm cannon, what do you want the 50mm cannon for? It's good for nothing. So yeah, well, Beaufort, We keep our moves in the vertical, very important with this plane. You want to keep your energy up because it doesn't accelerate or climb very well. It's a heavy fighter, you don't expect it to do so. That guy got taken off. We have a Yak 7, F4F, fighters are starting to come here, and this is not good news for me. Because against a single engine fighter, this plane stands no chance at all. It's just too unmaneuverable. It's the way it should be, so no complaints. Just have to keep in mind that if you have a single engine fighter going for you, there are very limited range of options of things you can do. So I'm just winning some altitude, some speed, just to keep my energy up in case I'm jumped by someone. And as you can see, there are a lot of enemy fighters coming in. And I see the bombers, which is bad news. And this is other of the things going against this version and this plane. Your weaponry basically rules you out from hitting enemy fighters. Enemy maneuvering enemy fighters. You can get shots on them. I actually did with a P47. But it's not easy to get hits on them, so just try to focus on bombers. Now I see some bombers, which are my targets, so I go for them. Notice I'm in a dive and I'm building up speed very fast. This is very good in booms and very good in zooms, keeps energy up very well. The problem is that it doesn't maneuver very well at high speeds. Shoot, miss. Wellington and A20G. Looking at around just to notice that enemy fighters are coming in fast. So soon I'm going to be in trouble. But I'm very fast, notice it. I'm very fast. So it has to catch me, because it's a fast plane and keeps speed for a long time. So you want to use that in your advantage. Keep a look on the enemy fighters. And I see, single engine fighter, this is not good. But I still go for the bomber. Because I have to, it's my role. Shot, no look. Go for him, and just to see he got taken out. Oh well. Keep a look on the enemy fighters. I see they are coming in very fast, so now I have to face them. P40. Shot, no luck. I get shot by others. Now I'm in very deep sea. They are more incoming. I have one coming for me directly. So I just try to shake him off and come back to my lines. But of course, what this means is that I'm giving my assists to the enemy, and that's not good. Still, P40N. Shoot. What? This cannon is worthless. That guy simply moved away, like as if something had no. It's like as if nothing hit him at all. So yeah, this cannon is shit. It's shit. You can't do crap with this plane because the cannon is just worthless. But oh well, that's the way things go. Time for another game. This time we see port, and this is the best Messerschmitt Me410 in my opinion, which is the B6R3, the heavy fighter with twin 30mm cannons. And this thing is a beast. It's a bomber eater. It's a bomber nightmare. There's no bomber it can survive the attack of one of these things. It's just as easy as that. So well, I'm just climbing up to altitude because I know the bombers are coming in high, and start seeing the enemy forces coming. So I bank to a side to keep on winning altitude while not getting too near from them. Want to get as much altitude as I can before going for the bombers. See a couple of Mustangs, another Messerschmitt Me410. And there you are, Junkers 38, our first potential target for our first pass. Soon we are going to see Henkel 111 and A20G, so we have our targets there. I wait for the fighters to become entangled with my forward forces, my blues in the fore, so they are distracted and they don't hunt me while I'm in the way to the bombers. And then now I have a free path, basically. Here I make a mistake. I think I can go both for the guy down and the guy up, but notice how slow this plane maneuvers at high speeds. So I can't bring my nose up in time to get the second guy. I just got a couple of hits on the first guy, so I botched my approach. Should have been focusing on the higher guy, but I wanted to back them both, and in the end I didn't get any. That usually happens when you get greedy. But there I see a couple of bombers. Henker 111 and Junkers 88. Then try to decide if I go for the higher one or the lower one. I see a Focke-Wulf 1N is going for the higher one, so I think, okay, let's go for the lower one. And look at this. This guy is coming straight for me. It's well. Not going to say a lot about that, you just saw it by yourself. Yes, these things hit very hard. Very hard. Simply disintegrated. Well, looping, completing. I see a bullfighter, I hate those things, so I try to keep check on him, what he's doing. BF-109, another BF-109, which is higher. And I see that's a bomber of our team, which is in deep trouble, so I head there. Maybe I can head ahead on the 109, but no, the bomber got him. So, well done, bomber. Junkers 88, far away. So, let's build up our speed and blaze through there. That's very near the enemy spawn and I don't want to linger there a lot, so I'm just going in and getting out. I'm seeing the Junkers is keeping a steady movement from my left to right, so that means he's trying to circle me. So I just let him pass, close the turn, come exactly behind him and blast him off. And then just keep on running, because those guys are reasonably scared. Well, reasonably angry at me because I just come in their noses and back the bomber. I zoom climb for a while, readiness speed for altitude, seeing what I have behind, what's my possible next target. Go on the vertical, see a bullfighter there. I don't like those things. Those things in the vertical, they pull some really crazy shit. So I just don't go for him. Close the loop. Wind speed back and put my nose up. See a 109. See more targets. An IL-4. Which I think at the moment is like, okay, this is my target. But as you can see, he's moving towards me. If I dive now, it's going to give me a very crappy shot. So I just move over him, and I was planning to do a pass on the IL-4, but now I see a Junkers 87. So hey, why not? Let's back the Junkers 87. Coming close. Try to predict his position for my gun solution. Fire. Get some hits. Probably 20mm. Not a good shot, so well. I assume clean. I'm very near the respawn and they are coming for me for sure. I know that. I haven't looked, but I know they are coming for me. There you go. King Cobra. But no, he doesn't have enough speed, he doesn't have energy for coming for me. So, well, I'm just going to point down my nose and dive towards that IL-4. Get my nose high just in case the king cobra comes for me. Take a look back to see what's going behind me, and plan the attack on the L4. Remember, at this speed, look at this, the plane corrects very slowly its attitude. So you have to plan in advance, hit, and pull away. Now my rear cannons are shooting. Spitfire is trying like crazy to get me, but he doesn't have the speed. Still he hits me at very long distance. Some damage in the wing, nothing worrying. He's just out of here. Look at that. I just left him in the dust. And now look at this. I always have a serious problem with the guys who come for me. I really do. It's like, okay, you came for me. That's cool. That's cool. You can. But hey, dude. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn, buddy. Yeah, you try to come behind me. You are slow. You can maneuver. No, you can't. Sorry. Boom. You have your shot. I have mine. And I won. Next in line, Junker 37. I dive for him. And this is a mistake on my part, because I didn't check my surroundings. I just backed the Spitfire and moved on. I should have looked around. Some hits, no kill, probably 20mm. And I noticed my cannons are shooting. I have a Corsair behind me. And well, this goes for the guys who say the 50 cals in the American guns, the American planes don't work. Look at that. Look at what he did to me. So well, there you go. Those are the Messerschmitt Me410s. They are fly very similar. I mean, this one, and this one, you have to fly very similar. The difference is firepower between this and these two, and the difference between these two is that this is slower and doesn't have as good as a performance as this one. Other than that, well, let's take a look. They are pretty cheap to repair. The A1 is just 1,300 lions for a level 8. It's very cheap. The U2 is 2,080, almost 900 lions, still very cheap. The U4 is dirt cheap, 576. So just for lols you can fly this around. Just don't expect to do a lot of it. And it's a very similar thing in the level 9s. They are very cheap, 2,100, 3,200, and 504. The B6R3 is much expensive, more expensive. It's 6,100, but it deserves to be much more expensive. This thing is a monster. And it's super fun to fly, super fun. So well, there you go. This is the Messerschmitt Me410s for all of you. If you like these videos, please give me the thumbs up. If you have any a question, comment, anything you want to tell me, please do so in the comment sections below. Remember, please, to visit and subscribe Shadow Visigoth in his channel. Remember, the link is down below in the description. Again, thanks goes for him for making such an amazing intro for me. And if you like this video and want to see more of this one, of this kind of videos, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. That's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.